Morning, Amber. Where was on the hill? It's kind of early-ish, but just after 7. It's my birthday! Yay! Happy birthday! Yeah, it's my birthday. And it's a really busy day. I've just had to make a list. So, I'm looking like morning person. I have to harvest some dahlias early, try and get these off, any that are good. I've got a busy week, so it's Wednesday, the 19th, and I have a wedding this weekend, but I've also got a funeral now, so I'm going to get any off dahlias off here that I can, without being fussy about colour at all. The funeral, bright colours and anything, so it's okay, it makes it easy, and the wedding's actually fairly varied with colours, so that's all right too. I wouldn't be cutting flowers for the wedding now, but what I'm going to do is just get off any dahlias that are good. It's going to be 30, very low 30s today, but I think I want to get them off just because I'm going to get them off before anything gets damaged. Tiptoeing through the tulips today because yesterday I nearly stepped on a brown snake, so in this area, so it's somewhere and there's a few holes around, so I think there's a brown snake living near my flower patch, so I'm not happy about that. So we're going to take it kind of cautiously from now on. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to harvest these, and then I've got up quite early this morning and made a list for the next 3 days. After today, I'm going to have to go dash into town and get some floral foam for the casket arrangement and a few other things. I've got to go to my parents and have birthday lunch and go to my mother-in-law's and pick up some beautiful crab apples that I want to do in some vase arrangements for vases for the funeral. And I was kind of thinking a bit of an autumn kind of theme, just seasonal, because there's sedum, and yeah, the crab apples were beautiful, so that's what we're going with this week. It's going to be pretty huge, so it's going to be a bit of a we're going to do the funeral stuff first, so that's this video, and potentially we'll separate it and make a wedding one. And I've got a choir performance on the weekend too, so busy. This is a really beautiful, this is Winky Kestrel. The stems are all bizarre on things. I did a big deadhead the other day, knowing that I had both of these 2 events. So the dahlias, which were incredibly tired last week, had a lot of rain on Sunday. Everything's looking much better. The plants are looking way healthier now. Now, whether or not they give me any more flowers, I don't know. I'm actually buying in 4 buckets of flowers from Steph from Moonrise Growers, because I just don't think I'm going to have enough. The arrangement for the casket's about 1.20 meters, so it's very long, and I just don't want to be short. And honestly, the quality of flowers, it looks like there's a lot, but there's not great quality, so there's actually very little, way less than you think. So I absolutely have to buy this stuff in. Plus there's the wedding, so I've got to get wedding out of all of this. Anyway, we're just going to go around and cut what we can, but this is the sort of colour I'd love mostly for the funeral. We're going to go bright, but look, I think sort of that autumn look would be really nice, particularly with the crab apples. I'm just keeping those in mind. There's some funny shaped stems coming in here, but that doesn't matter so much because I've got to do a small vase arrangement for the funeral, and for the wedding there's also bud vases, so you know, smaller, shorter things is okay. There's more buds coming, and thankfully new growth. I said this the other day, but there's more buds and there's more new growth, so I could even get another flush out of these dahlias, hopefully. Everything's lovely and wet. It's very dewy now. With the autumn, it's changing, definitely the weather. It's very cool at night now, so it's good. It's a beautiful morning. So I've gone through the pinks and blushes and whites. I'm into sort of reds now, still sort of blushy, peachy colours too, but I'm also cutting short stems as well because they'll fit into the casket arrangement. You only need short stems to sit into that. Plus there's bud vases with this wedding as well, so the wedding's not red at all, but we're just sort of going right through and getting everything possible. And it's actually good deadheading too, so it should do the patch pretty well. It should do it good. Excuse me. And hopefully we'll get another flush coming in next week as well. Looking like I have like almost enough dahlias for both events, but potentially not quite. Just I've still got a little bit to do with the burgundies, and though there's not a lot of those, so I'm really glad that I'm buying in material. It's always it's hard to know. But what I really need is other things other than the dahlias that I got. So because my celosias, it's finished, not looking very well at all, and my cosmos is a bit unreliable, so I'll be able to find little bits of that, but not a lot. So I do have fresh zinnias, but there's not a huge patch, but fresh zinnias, and there are sunflowers, which will be nice in both events because the wedding has got a little bit of yellow in it too. So, and the sunflowers aren't massive, so we should be able to get some of those too. Today I've got to pick foliage. That's the big thing, particularly for the casket arrangement. Being such a long piece, it'll need a lot of foliage first, obviously, and yeah, and then the flowers in on top of that. So we're getting there, nearly finished. I'll go and have some breakfast, and maybe I'll feed my cows too. My pet cows are mooing at me, they're hungry. We've had some rain though. We did have a lot of rain on Sunday, and there's more rain coming, I think, tomorrow and next week. So it looks like we're getting an autumn break, which is really, really good. So hopefully the grass will grow a bit. And it's certainly freshened up these days. The foliage looks lovely now. You know, the odd spot where it looks a bit sad, but really I'm going to get like a whole bunch new, like all these buds and long stems, and so the season might push through for a few more weeks. So it's been quite lucky, and I think it's just the heavens have smiled on us for this week for two events that were really, really important. So it's good. Okay, I'm back. We've been out all day, and it's just some of the stuff. I picked up flowers from Steph, so it has included, I'll go around there and I can show you a bit better, but got a lot of stuff here. Definitely got enough stuff now, and then there's still some things in the garden, of course, if I need it. So the plan is tomorrow, which is Thursday, I will do the casket piece tomorrow. Tonight I should be able to do the vase arrangements. Hopefully I can I'll get that casket piece done in the morning, so that'll be good. That'll give me the afternoon free in case my daughter has string ensemble and all those things, and I've got choir and a few other things. So be good to get all that done in the morning. I've still got wedding flowers that I'll do, but I'm just going to leave all of that until I get home after the funerals. I've got to drop those off. That's Friday morning. So after all that's happened, then once I'm home, then I'll worry about the wedding then. So wedding there's only one bouquet and two flower girl bouquets, little posies, some buttonholes, some wrist corsages, and which will get done Saturday morning, the wrist corsages, and there's 31 bud vases, so that's pretty easy. So that's I'll just worry about that Friday after the funeral bits. So I'll show you what I've got. So ignoring the crazy mess in my laundry as usual. So I've got a huge amount of hydrangea foliage from my mother. I just went nuts. She was going to deadhead it anyway, and she's got lots and lots. So there's a few hydrangea in there. They're sort of tired and old, but they got that lovely antiquated look. So they could be usable still. Steph's given me lots of lovely sedum, and this is for the funeral there was to be no natives, so I probably can't use this leucodendron, but it's okay. Things that don't get used, I'll use them in the bakery and wherever else. There's a few zinnias there. There's Queen Lime Red, which matches with all of this. There's some lovely, that's that vintage rose, floret, celosia, and dahlias, of course, that match in. A few more zinnias. There's some interesting celosia here with some fan shapes. I've never seen that colour before.
cosmos, which won't really go with the funeral stuff, but I've got the wedding, so that's okay. This is stuff from my mother-in-law. Some more beautiful sedum, which is no, it's the same shade. Lovely. And some of this orange twist, what's it called, Lilliput? No, I've forgotten the name of that stuff, but that's great. That's lots of that, so that's a really good foliage. And some more sedum and some dahlias, more dahlias from Steph. This is this amazing crab apples, and my mother-in-law just cut, oh, she's so generous, she cut lots of beautiful branches of that. So I've got the 2 vase arrangements, which that'll look lovely in. And then coming around here, so this is another, this is that tassel amaranth, and I'm going to grow some of this next year. This is amazing. Look how just, it's stunning. So that'll look lovely in the vase arrangements, and even in the casket arrangement, I think, like drooping over the side a bit, but not going overboard with it, but I think that's lovely. And there's a lovely amaranth as well. And I think there's a bit more of the leucadendron, but that's okay. We'll find a use for that. And in here are some yabbies. My kids have been catching yabbies. And every time I come near here, they start tap dancing in the sink. They're horrible. So I bought some more floral foam today, but I'm not going to get to, I don't think I'll need that. I bought trays, like these go underneath pots. And I bought extra ones because I'm always needing these. I've got one of these things that you put the cages, that's feeding chickens. I've got one of these things and you put the cage on it, but I don't think I'll use that one. And I've got my meter ruler as well because I'm trying to make a meter 20, but I don't think I'll need like lots of these in a row like I thought I would. I think I'll just need the 2. And then you have the foliage extending out the ends. So I've got to do a bit of measuring, but I've got everything set up. Here we go. So meter ruler there, and then there's this tray, if you can see that. It's very long. That'll hold 2 bricks of floral foam. Well, that's a meter. I've got to go to a meter 20. So whether or not I need any additional length, I just have some long bits of foliage, so potentially that hydrangea there, that's certainly long enough. That might be the base foliage, I'd say, and then we'll build on that. So it's going to be a bit warm tomorrow. I think it's supposed to rain too, though, so I think I might actually work inside in my house tomorrow, but we'll see. This is some extra big bits of hydrangea. You can cut bits off this too and make it less bulky. The thing I've got to decide on is vases. So for the medium one, I'm thinking this, and the lip means that it sort of makes the arrangement bigger. Then it's sort of like, yeah, these are ones that can hold candles. And for the smaller one, I do have a round one. That one might be nice, and that will actually, you know, vases always tend to hold more than you think, but we don't want it massive. It's for the signing table, so that needs a clean, but I think that one might be a good one. Dahlias I harvested this morning, so they're just in my house. They've been keeping cool all day. I'll just show you the colors I've got. These are all shorter stems, but that's okay because poking them into floral foam for the casket arrangement, or they could be for bud vases for the wedding, so it doesn't matter if they're short. And these are the longest stems I've got. This is just everything I had, which is actually not really a lot from 700 dahlias. And there's a few sunflowers that didn't go down to the post office this morning, but there will be more open tomorrow, so, and on Friday for the wedding. So I thought I'd make a start on these vase arrangements, and I'm going to sort of do them at the same time and try and have the same ingredients. I'm going to start with the crab apples and build around those, and I'm probably going to have to go get extra foliage, so I'm going to hopefully find stuff in my garden, things that have got sort of that autumn look about them. And there's also some beech. I think it seems to be a bit more of a copper beech up at the hall, so a little bit of dark foliage might look nice in that as well, and it would look good with that amaranth because I think I'll use some of that. Love this. It's amazing. So I sort of just need to sort these pieces out and figure out which ones are best. Hopefully all the crab apples won't fall off. But we'll see how we go because there's some long bits and there's some shorter bits, and some of them will need some crab apples taken off them. But what a nice piece of foliage. So this is a nice, interesting piece. This bit's lovely. It would fit in the vase, but I think it's quite heavy. Like, I'd have to strip all this off the bottom. And I've just got to be careful, I think, because they're quite weighty. And so I don't want the whole thing to tip. So it's just going to be a matter of, definitely culling some fruit off it. I've never worked with these before, and so it's like added challenge. Look at this piece. Isn't that amazing? So he'd be nice in the small one, and like cut this piece, this tall bit off, I think. And then I have to remove the lower bits. But that's, look at the colours in that. It's incredible. Anyway, let me just fiddle around with it and I'll show you. I've cut. I kind of would like this piece in the small one. I might have to trim it down a bit further. But there's leftover apples, which I think they could be nice sort of on the table, just next to the arrangement, and you know, the bits with the leaves. So depending what they look like in 2 days' time, but that's a possibility. I could actually put them in the fridge, I think, keep them cool, and maybe the leaves might survive. And they could just be sort of just next to the vase. I reckon that'll look pretty good. Okay, I've sort of been fighting with these a bit. I like this piece, the bigger one. I'll cut quite a lot of the apples off the bottom. It's also looking at the leaves too. Some of them here have got the leaves look a bit chewed up and spat out. So I'm trying to sort of pick the ones with the best leaf. Now with your woody stem, you need to cut up the stem so it can drink, and that's actually a good height for that larger vase. Just sort of, it's got this tassel-y thing in the way there. Ooh, don't want that to fall off the bench. Yeah, so that'll be a good height for that one, but to get it in that one for the other one, that might need some of those taken off. Depends how heavy it gets, but yeah, I like that. So I'm going to put those in first and then sort of build around those and have them looking really sort of natural, very autumnal colours. So I've got lots of that. I've got sedum. There's lots of dahlias in peaches and that peachy pink. There's oranges like apricots and those sorts of shades. So there's lots of things there. And then this lovely tassel amaranth and this lovely dark amaranth up here. I can pull a piece out. No, I can't really, but that's that really dark burgundy. Here we go. There's a couple of pieces. This lovely dark burgundy as well. I think that'd be nice. It's going to be very dramatic. Let's put that in there. Yeah, keep working away. Alright, I've got them sitting in there. I've had to remove a lot of the crab apples from there, and here I really needed to, I pulled off these extras, trying to pull them off so that I'm grabbing ones from the back. So I like that look of them, but because they're a bit weighty, so just trying to remove some of the weight without getting, like, destroying any of the look. So I'm going to put some sedum in, I think, next. And I'm sort of going to, normally I'd do foliage first, but I think I'm sort of working backwards and going to fill in with foliage. And do it that way because I don't want to have to cut. I don't want to cut too much because it's just all that extra work. So yeah, we're going to work that way, working backwards. Right, just working on some sedum. And check out this hydrangea foliage, really long, really nice. Got lots of pieces of this from my mum. Morning, it's Thursday morning. So I'm going to harvest some more flowers this morning. I've got my list for the wedding, so I'm going to do the other flowers. So I've got dahlias picked, and then I've got my list. I think it was, I don't remember how many dahlias, but I've certainly got enough dahlias.
and I need to pick the other. So there's bits of globe amaranth out there. My celosia's no good anymore, I don't think. We might find some bits though. I've got a few bits in here, but they could be more for the funeral. Now I'm not too sure. We'll just see what I've got out there. There's some straw flowers, there's some sunflowers. I'm looking over there and see what I can see. Oh, there's zinnias, there's penstemon, other bits. I've got a list, so I'm going to do that now. I don't think it's just after 7. I'm not sure. I'll show you. I did the small arrangement. I finished that last night. So this is in that little round vase. So there's our little crab apples, Carlos watermelon, some sedum, zinnias. So that's what I want the front to be. Bit of celosia in there, and amaranth. I don't know whether it's going to stick. Actually, I don't mind it sticking up that way. And the back. And I put red in there too. I don't mind the red. And that's the back. I actually quite like that as the back better. So, and it's because it's in that round vase, it's sort of top heavy, but I've got it all, everything's crisscrossed nicely on the inside, so it's holding everything in well. So hopefully nothing's going to open up too much in that. This is the bigger one. Got some of this tassel hanging down here. And the crab apples, and yeah, so we'll see how well that goes. And the hydrangea foliage is awesome in it, and I've got some of that actually, the foliage like tucked in there too, which I think the green breaks it up nicely. So I've just got to watch the weather today and have all this stored basically inside, but that one's not finished yet. There's still a hole in the middle, but I could potentially add a little bit of globe amaranth to this too. I'm not sure yet. I'll have a look. I'll cut some and then see if any little tiny pops of little, or not the globe, yeah, the globe amaranth, little white. And I do have a pink one too, so we'll just see. I might not have finished with it, but yeah. My straw flowers are just little side shoots now, but I'm finding some enough really, because I can use these for bud vases. There's some longer ones that can go in wedding bouquets, and got some nice of the perennial scabiosa. That's the fama. That's the blue and the white. That one's not quite open yet. Hopefully it opens a bit more. There's a few of the blue, which is good because this bride's having lots of different colours. Burgundy, pastel pink, orange, yellow, blue. So a bit of mauve. So there's not a lot out here. Like, it doesn't look like there's a lot, but there's, in terms of variety, and there's some really good blue status over there. Some extra long bits that sort of came back after I really chopped it down. So there should be enough stuff. Histamine too, which is good. I add a little bit of extra different interest and make it that sort of wildflower look, because that's the look she's going for. I only wish my fever few was still going. Still got floret zinnias. So these are the nice champagne and pastel pink coming in. And a little bit of my celosia too, which is still okay, so that's good. I've got this lovely blue status. Love this one, it's my favourite. So there's a few long stems of that, which is perfect. It's done it right for me on the right day. So I can get those, and there's a little bit of white. And the shorter stems are fine too, because they'll be good for bud vases. Look at these bright zinnias. Aren't they cheerful? These are late season ones I planted. So glad I did. There's some more lovely purple ones over there. Really enjoying my sunflowers. So there's some ones with narrower stems, so I might grab those for the wedding. And then any extras I can potentially nick down to the bakery. There's actually some opening up over there too. Now I have some winged everlasting. I pulled out all my chocolate lace here, that was all gone over. And then I've got a little moth, cabbage moth. Some winged everlasting here that was straggly, but then it's all come back. And then now it's all flowering again. So this is perfect for the whole wildflower look, and it's looking really fresh and really nice. So we'll get that. It's a funny thing, this. It always feels like it's got wire in the stem. It's bizarre, but that's so cheerful. I love that. I wasn't so sure about it, but I do like it. Obviously it's good dried, and I've got so much more dried flowers now, which I'm really quite enjoying. So hopefully this will just stay in there, go through winter okay, and I think it will. I've managed to get some of this lovely vintage rose. That bit's really nice. That one's a little seedy, but so that's 100 stems I've got so far, and I really only need 132 different stems other than dahlias. So I'm almost there. I've got the globe amaranth. This has been pretty quick and easy. I might grab some sunflowers too. And I'm going to go over into my front garden and see if there's anything that's kind of, well, I've got a separate list of accounts. I don't know where it is in my pocket here, for things to get, that's my little list, things to get that are sort of other. And I mean, by other, I mean, well, others, the 132 things other than the dahlias. And then I've got 35 forage, and just to remind myself that I need to get things that look kind of wildflowerish, like grasses and stuff. Hello to my shadow. Yeah, so we'll see what we can find. So I'm trying to get this done before it starts. Well, it's kind of getting warm. I've had to change into some shorts, but supposedly nasty weather's coming in, so I don't know whether those clouds are going to bring any rain and storms and stuff. So get this done and finish. There's only 32 stems, so get that done, and then I'll probably have to pop out and get other bits for the funeral flowers, just to add to it. There's some globe amaranth, anyway, other bits and pieces, and foliage as well. I've got to do foliage for this wedding, so I've got to get the sage green eucalyptus, and which that's yeah, okay, we'll get that. That's not so much of a stress, but we'll get that. And then I'm going to start doing the casket piece and then see how much more foliage I need for that before I go and cut anything. So this is pretty. This is the globe amaranth, which is the rose, tall rose. Although mine didn't get that tall, but maybe it didn't get that much water. But that's really nice. There is a white one, but I think I'll go with the pink for this. And I've only got a little patch of it, but that's okay. You don't want, too much of this sort of thing, because there's not a lot of flowers in this wedding, really. So, and this will be great also because I've got to do wrist corsages and the buttonholes. So this, which also dries really well, will be good in those because they'll be not sitting in any water. I'm trying to get some sunflowers that are smaller, so in terms of my hand, and like thinner stems. So there's a couple in here. This one here's got a thinner stem, and you do cut them when they're like starting to open. So that should be nice and open, hopefully by the wedding, and because it'll be, I don't know what the weather's going to do Saturday. It's not going to be really, really hot, but it would open up on the day anyway too. If it's going to be outside. Now I think I need 12 more stems of sort of flowers. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of my cosmos. There's a little bit of white there. We'll have a look, and I've still got cosmos down the bottom. But I've still got all that material that I bought yesterday, which I might be able to use a little of that. But I've got to go. I'll look in the front garden too. But cosmos is not looking great, but might find something. Just got to get 20 more stems. Found some cosmos, not a lot, but got some. And I got some more celosia, so that was a bit different. Oh, let me see on top of my head. Yes, so I'm gonna have a look in the front garden, see what I can find there, and then I'll have to do foliage. There's some nasty clouds coming from over that way, so, and it's sort of, the temperature's dropped a bit, which is nice, but we'll see what else we can find. I found a bit more straw flowers, which is very wildflower looking too. So, and I do have some dried millet and wheat and stuff too, so that might work in as well. So yeah, I'll probably end up with just a little bit too much stuff, but then I can always fill up the bud vases. And anyway, Buddleia has a little yellow flower. That'll be all right. There's a couple of those up there, a couple of dried ones, but a couple of okay ones, and maybe those. I got a little bit of white salvia. I don't think that'll hang on. I don't know. We'll test it, see how it goes. Okay, I've got a nice selection. I remembered I had some chocolate lace left. It was a random one little plant, so perfect. It really drives home the importance of succession sowing. I've got some Rebecca, and in here I've got a mix of mint that's flowered now. There's a bit of basil in there. She's got a little slightly mauve flower. There's some random sort of bits and pieces, salvias and things. There's one little bit of bog sage. I don't know what this stuff is, but little twizzly bits. Don't know if this salvia will hang on to its flowers, but there's the buddleia. And I did grab some rose hips, little tiny weeny ones. This stringy thing here with the blue. I don't know, just stuff, bits. There's a bit of parsley as well. So that was sort of give that wild flower kind of look. I did find one white rose, whether that hangs onto itself, I don't know, but anyway. And then these are nice too. That should do for the wedding, I hope, and just get foliage. So I'll get the gum. I can't remember what my count is for foliage. It's not a huge amount, so I can do that. I've got the floral foam. Ooh, floral foam soaking for the casket arrangement. I need to have some breakfast. I don't know what the time is. And I'll get started on that. And yeah, we'll just this is okay. And like tomorrow, even if I cut the foliage tomorrow for the wedding and do the bouquets and stuff, it's not really a big deal. At least this bit's done before it's nice and cool now. This weather's really changed. So certainly before it rains and everything's get damaged by the rain. So I'm glad I've done this now. Okay, just to add to the general flower confusion today, I've just got a email, like a bouquet order, so through the website. I got enough flowers floating around. So, and it's only delivering to you now, so I'll do that first. And my floral foam is soaking, so that's done. That should be good to go when I get back. I'm going to cut some sunflowers that are ready, so I might as well go to the bakery and drop some sunflowers off there because they're open rather than them just going to waste. Yeah, so there we go. So I've messaged my daughter's string teacher that she's not going to make it this afternoon. There's just no way, so it's just too much. Anyway, we'll get this done, and once I get going on that casket arrangement, that should be pretty straightforward. And yeah, so it's just given me then all day to do that now, which is nice, and finish this vase. It's just still got that bit hole in the middle there, and if I need to, I can always go out and cut more. This is the beauty of hiring a flower farmer florist, because we can always just whip out and get more material. So okay, I've delivered a bouquet to Yana, took some sunflowers down there. So I want to finish this. Okay, I'm not certain about that. I might actually cut that a bit shorter. Yes, I will, because it's looking not balanced. And I'll finish this off, and then I'll get stuck into the casket. So it really needs to be, that's better. Let's get some of this foliage off the bottom. You don't want foliage below the water line. Really keep that as clean as possible. This will hang out the side, which will look nice. So it's just trying to get that back into where it was. It's getting quite full in here in terms of stems, and yeah, that's better. It doesn't look so, yeah, crazy. So that's better. So I've got some red in here too, which I quite like, but you can sort of see that. And it's just bringing out those crab apples a little bit better. So I'll fiddle around with this a bit more. It's just a bit in the centre really that needs something in there, and then we'll pop it aside. Okay, I'm happy with how it's looking from the front, and then I've just tucked this one here, this day there. There's a bit of a gap there. That's the back, but I should do something just to sort of fill. I need something in there, that sort of gap there. I think that will about do it. We can overdo. I think whether that's might need something sort of down there. I think in the front. It's always just a. I always go by what my eye tells me. It's just you can tell if it doesn't look balanced. It's sort of. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a fiddle. Okay, I think I've got it. I think I've got it sorted. So, yeah, I'd move that pink one to the side a little bit
So he's a bit off center. It looked a bit weird right in the center. Yeah. We'll sit it aside and then, but I think you can keep tweaking and then it just gets too crazy. Right, that's done. Now I'm going to, I've got my meter ruler and an extra 20cm ruler and my floral foam. There's a little gap, but I do have little extra pieces, so I'll find that and soak that. So I've got this sitting in the center, so my center here is at the 60cm mark. I'm going to need my glasses to check. Yeah, so I'm going to use my hydrangea foliage as the very first base, and I'm going to shove bits in the ends and then have it come out so it's long enough. So there'll be long pieces coming out the end to get the length, and then we'll have to work on the width. So they'll be, yeah, not obviously as long. It won't be a square thing. It'll obviously be a oblong shape. So even so, if I actually place this whole thing in the center of the bench, and that will really help me get the width, because I think potentially the width of this bench is actually going to be a really good guide. I think I'll just double check, but then I need to get the height in the center. And honestly, I'm not going by a measurement. I'm just going to go by what looks balanced. I think that's the way to do it, and then have it so it slopes down to the sides. Okay, so we got this sorted. We've got this all measured up. This is sitting in the middle of the table. So measured that, so it's in the middle. And I do think that width is pretty good. And I've got the length, 1.20 m. Okay, so a little bit extra in the middle. So now we just I'm going to work with the hydrangea first, get the lengths out to here, and then out to that end, and then out to these sides. And I think that should be good. And I've just taped it too. That's the other thing you need to do, is tape so that's an adhesive tape. I suppose you could zip tie it as well. That's the other thing. But there. Okay, so 4 pieces, and then now we'll do corners, and then get that oval shape happening. Okay, so corner pieces. Now I need to add some to sort of fill in these gaps here. Okay, so I've got this orange twist lily pilly. It's my mother-in-law's. It's really nice. And then I'm going to poke in the foliage, so it's going to create that shape. And then the hydrangea, I'll come back to that later once we get some flowers in, and then the hydrangea can fill in gaps. And then I've also got lots of sedum, which is going to be a great filler too. So we're getting there. I'll show you what we've got so far. Okay, so that's just the shape of that. So it's fairly straightforward. It's just, obviously trying to do a really, really good job. Okay, so lily pillies getting in there, and I'll probably fill in a few more spots and then start adding some sedum, and then flowers, and then fill in gaps, I think. Okay, so I filled gaps with lily pilly, and then obviously there's room in there. You can see there's lots of room for flowers and stuff to go in, and there's still hydrangea, which I will put in the spaces at the very end to hide any bits, and also because you don't just want the hydrangea around the bottom, it needs to come out in the tops, and it's also in the vase arrangements. So now, and I know this looks like there's nothing here, but I'll put flowers over this bit on the end, and the same at the other end. So if I'm really happy with that, and I'm really happy with the shape. It's looking balanced for the width and the heights, making it look balanced, just looking at it from this end. There we go, hopefully it's even. Yeah, let's go with the amaranth first. So I've got a bit out the end, and it's sort of more that way, and then the next bit is on the side, and it's sort of that way, so it's sort of going around in a circle really. And this bit at the top sort of comes around this way, and this bit here is sort of more that way. So it's kind of, I'm just sort of keeping it balanced and kind of, you know, loose and flowing. And so far I'm happy with the shape. At least I've got the shape. That's sort of, the rest you just then start filling it in. Okay, so adding dahlias, trying to intersperse pinks and the reds and the oranges in amongst each other, kind of balancing it out as much as possible. And then we'll add a bit more amaranth, like up the top, but later. Okay, so I don't know. I really like this dahlia here. I only had one. He's sort of facing an odd angle. Dahlia's a bit tricky because they kind of face the way they want to face, but it's working. Okay, I think I'm done. It's one of those things where you just you can keep adding and adding and adding, and but I'm happy that all the colours are blend. It's just sort of a matter of now going around and see if I can find any holes. But yeah, I'll give you a better look at it. Yep. So it's just pinks and reds and purples and like, yeah, whether it's needs something there, it might actually need another flower in there. I think it does. I love the tassels. Got a bit of that amaranth in up there to balance the purple down the bottom. Got some celosia going on, and then a tassel at this side, this corner. I even got crab apples in, and sedum's fantastic. And I got like for a fill, it's so good. And there's some little crab apples just down here. Hopefully none of them fall off when they walk the coffin out, because that would be kind of awkward if they start bouncing everywhere. But hopefully they'll just sit there. They're sort of not so noticeable there, but I do like them up the top on the other one. I don't have any other good branches to put any more sort of in there really, but I think it's kind of whimsical. So yeah, I think I just need something in there, and then I'm just going to walk away and leave it underneath my bench. Russell has a nap while I'm working. Yeah, I popped that orange one in there, and now I'm just going around cutting off some of these hydrangea leaves. It's sort of, they kind of flip over, so you sort of get the back of it. You know, some places it doesn't really matter too much. That's not too bad. Gotta sort of think, will it look better or worse if it's not there before you cut it off? But anyway, and like hopefully I get to place it on the casket when I deliver it, because I want to arrange it. But the funeral people might not let me do that. I don't know. I've never had to put it on, so I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But see, these leaves here are sort of not behaving. They're sort of sitting the wrong way, so I'll figure out which ones need to come off. It looks really good from above, doesn't it? I'm really happy with that. Really, really happy. Hope they like it. Okay, I'm having a rest now, aren't we, Russell? Sit down. That took me about 3 hours to do. Yeah, it felt a little bit of pressure actually, but I'm so happy with how it looks, and it's like, I like that I got the crab apples in there, and they're sturdy, they're not going anywhere. I had to sort of remove a few, like, so it wasn't too heavy, but it crosses over into the theme of that the vase has got them in there as well. And yeah, I'm really pleased. So hopefully it just sits there tonight. It's not hot now. I'm in a short sleeve, but it's cool enough. So hopefully it'll just sit there. It's 5 o'clock now, so I can just chill for a minute and go feed dogs and all that kind of thing. I hope you learnt something. I sort of didn't really show you the flower part really, but the basic structure of the foliage is really, once you get that bit and then get the shape with the secondary foliage, and then just add your flowers in, and then sort of balancing the colours, I guess, is a good idea. And I did see another video about working in triangles with the same varieties of flowers, and that does make sense too.
because sort of a triangle is a shape that your eye is sort of naturally drawn to, and also you're working in uneven numbers, so threes of things that match. But yeah, I don't know. I always just go by eye in terms of what color and when what's balanced, and you sort of like if you can work that way, you kind of know if it looks wrong. There's a few things I pulled out and went, that doesn't look right, and then pulled it out and then put something else in its place, and it was like, yeah, that works. So it's good. It's all good. Hope we learned something. Now, the next video will be the wedding, which I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, there's a little bit of cutting for that going on today. But anyway, catch up with you later. Bye.